You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your humble host, Hunter, here. Hope you're having a great one whenever you're listening to this. I've got a review for Queen Rising, which is directed by first-time feature film director Princeton James. It is written by Allison Shaney and Henry E. Reeves III and stars April Hale, who you know most likely from Crazy Neighborhood Moms, A League of Their Own, General Hospital, The Upshaws, to name a few things. So April goes ahead and plays Madison, who's the main character in our story. She is a young woman who is trying to go ahead and just make ends meet. And unfortunately, she's working as a school teacher. So, so as you know, if you've watched 10 minutes of Abbott Elementary, you know that teachers unfortunately are not paid nearly as much as they should be. And so through desperation and foreclosure coming on her family home, she goes ahead and strikes a book deal to go ahead and solve said financial troubles, which leads to her going back to her experience in college and talking about the college town slings, which was this huge thing in Memphis as far as the town, something that shook the town, kind of in the same vein of something like the son of Sam, kind of along those lines. So one thing I'm going to say right out the gate about April Hale, obviously, stunning, but she has to go through the full gamut of emotions here in a way that for a thriller, I really appreciate. So when she's reflecting on her college experience, there's definitely this aspect of, man, I really miss being in college, because I think we can all relate to the fact that things just seem simpler when you're younger. Even in college, shit just seems a little more simple. And so, we get to see her talking to her old, college roommate and starting to date and, doing dance classes and just really starting to find herself and figure out, what the fuck she likes. And there is this level of just charm and this fondness in which April plays those moments as far as the flashbacks that I really enjoyed. And through the flashbacks, we find out that April went ahead and dated a couple different men in college. And one thing that I appreciate about this movie is that it shows that, especially guys in college, can just be total pieces of shit. Pieces of shit in a way that there's this one guy that she is seeing, and he's definitely kind of courting her and everything. And then as soon as he sleeps with her, she sees that he's already like talking to some other girl, and it's like, god damn, dude, like, just I think that's something that people really do experience more once they get out of college. Just realizing that sometimes someone's just gonna want to sleep with you, and that's gonna be it. But there is a scumminess to the way that he does it that I just went, oh, fuck you, dude. But she goes ahead and ends up talking to this one brother who she goes ahead and gets has some chemistry with. And the thing about him, without spoiling anything, Ben, that's his name. Ben is a douche, and he's played by Dash Kennedy Williams, and I have to say, bravo, sir, because he just, man, the way he just, he's been on a couple episodes of Blue Bloods, Confessions from the Friend Zone, The Code, Revenge of the Side Chick, to name a few things. But what I really like about him is that he's very cool at first. He's very calm. He's very nice. He's very like, I want to support you, babe. It's me and you against the world. Da da da. And then that switch turns, and when that switch flips, it is very unfortunate, and I'll just leave it at that. But what I really like about the flashbacks is, again, obviously April Hale's killing it, but then we get these young versions of her get this young version of Madison, um, and we're talking back when she's like 8, 9 years old. We get these flashbacks, and the kids that they go ahead and get to play her and her sister Shauna, they nail it. They absolutely fucking nail it. And I will say, because I think we've all talked, I've talked about this before, but when you have young actors, there is always that chance that you go like, oh, they just may not care. They just, you might only be able to direct them, but so much. But the way that the flashbacks are handled with them, and their very unfortunately shitty father, which I'll leave that for y'all to explore. That whole sequence, and anytime they flash back to then, it's just stuff that you just go, oh, the shitty stepdad, pardon me. Their father's great, but the flashbacks even between both of those men are profound at points and heartbreaking at other sequences. And I just found myself going, damn, this is like, these kids are not just holding their weight, but they are adding to this film through their portrayals of these young characters that we're getting to know. One thing that I really like about this movie is that it takes some turns and takes some twists that I actually went, son of a bitch, okay. It caught me off guard at multiple points. And again, it's always nice to be caught off guard like that. There is, just because I was talking about the flashback sequences, there is a story that Madison's dad tells about a farm, and Madison's dad is played by the aforementioned Henry E. Reeves III, who, even though he's only in a scene or two, he absolutely crushes the scenes he's in. And it's this whole, he tells this whole story about a farm, and I'll just leave it at that, because I think the story is incredibly powerful. But I love that story, and it's one of those things where I actually paused it and rewound it and went, God damn, like, this monologue just, it just fucking works. It really reminded me of something that Orlando Jones would say in American Gods. Like, it's one of those things where I went, damn, okay, I need to actually rewind this and play this back. But while the film progresses and as things develop and the walls start to close in on, as far as the potential college town slaying killer still being at large, I really like the way the way the walls close in around Madison, and the way that things close in around the people that she cares about, and how her world just starts to feel dark and feel scary. And I really like the way that I don't have his name here, but the person who approaches her about the book deal, the way that he feels very slimy. There's a lot going on here, and there's a lot that's being juggled, and yet in this 85-minute runtime, I thought that when the film ended, I went, yeah, this worked. And I will simply say that I definitely thought this movie was going to go one direction, and then not like the band, but when it ended up going a couple different directions, I went, son of a bitch, okay, I actually like where this ended. And while the film definitely does end in a spot that I went, okay, you don't really need to revisit this world, if Princeton James went, yeah, I'm doing a sequel to this, yeah, I actually would be down. I'd be down to see more of this, and what and what this world could look like expanded. I was very the last 25 minutes just hits this other gear, and it does a very good job pacing wise. Like I said, it's 85 minutes, but it never feels too short. It feels just right. It feels like just the right amount to go ahead and tell the story. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but I had a lot of fun watching it. So I'm gonna give this a B-. I really enjoyed this, and where there are a couple editing cues or a couple editing things that James does that I really like. There is this sequence that takes place in a Memphis diner, and it's shot from the inside of the diner, shooting outside through the glass in the diner, and it's such a cool shot. I love what that sequence is. No spoilers. There are a couple transition sequences where it goes from, early in the morning to middle of the day, and you kind of get that like hazy, frames are flashing, going transitioning by you very quickly. I love the way visually that he goes ahead and does some things like that. And I thought that, again, for something that I'm not sure what the budget is on this, I'm assuming it wasn't a ton, but the action stuff is really handled well here as far as the actual killings themselves. So I really enjoyed this. And again, for first time director, if this is his floor, Princeton James is going to be just fine. Like, I'm really excited to see what he does moving forward. And you don't see a lot of films shot in Memphis or hear about a lot of films shot in Memphis. You get your Atlantas, your Chicagos, your LAs, your Austins, your New Yorks. So it was cool to see, Memphis represented and see the culture represented. And yeah, it feels like there's definitely like potentially a gold mine there, for other films, and hopefully other studios go ahead and recognize that Memphis has its own unique style that would actually look cool in films. I really like the way that we actually get to see different parts of Memphis throughout the film. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Solid B- from me for Queen Rising. But everyone, what do you think of this? Let me know in the comments. You can go ahead and follow me on YouTube. Follow the show at The Real Pineapple. That's REEL Pineapple. You can go ahead and follow me on the Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at JHunterRealPineapple. That's JHunter and then REEL Pineapple. And then you can go ahead and like, share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. It definitely helps me out. You can find The Real Pineapple pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts. SoundCloud, Apple, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Samsung Podcasts, to name a few, at The Real Pineapple. And you can go ahead and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheRealPineapple. And go and follow me on Letterboxd at Black Shazam. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. By the time you listen to this review, my interview, with Princeton James and April Hale will be live on the channel as well. We talk about the film and stuff behind the scenes and about their careers. So it's some fun stuff. So go ahead and make sure you're subscribed everywhere and give that a listen as well. I'll have some more stuff coming down the pipeline soon, including reviews for Maxine, reviews for But I'm a Cheerleader. I'm going to review Boys Don't Cry. I know there's other stuff. That's all I can think of off the top of my head right now. It's almost 3:00 in the morning as I'm recording this. Oh yeah, Inside Out 2. I'll have a review up for that as well. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Give someone a hug. Give someone a compliment. We can all use some more positivity. And never forget, as always, to keep it real.